Hello, lovelies. This is Aimee Jongejan, and I'm commonly called Aimee Yummy Yum. And I'll go tell you a really quick story about why people call me Aimee Yummy Yum. So I use the word a lot. I love the word yummy. I think it denotes everything that's comfy and desirable. And to me, it's just a yummy word. I love the word yummy. Anyway, so about 12 years ago, I was teaching a group of 10 to 12-year-old girls. And we were doing things like self-esteem activities and team building and stuff like that. And a lot of them had a really hard time saying Jongejan. And you know what? I did too. When I first met my husband, I was like, what? And I thought it was like, Oriental. I don't know. It was like I met him and Mr. Tall, Dark, and Handsome. And I was like, that last name doesn't make any sense with the way he looked. So then I found out it's Dutch and it actually means young John. It's like Johnson, right? It's not like some weird exotic name, but, so, and his family is all from Holland. So for them, it's just, hey, Jongejan, we know how to say it. So for me, it took a while. It's Jongejan, and you say it really fast, and you pretend like you're Dutch when you say it. But my girls couldn't say it. A lot of them just could not get it. And so they decided to call me Aimee Yummy Yum. And the funny thing is, it stuck. And then adults that knew me started calling me Aimee Yummy Yum. And everybody started calling me Aimee Yummy Yum. And I loved it. I was like, yay. So that's why I'm Aimee Yummy Yum. And you'll hear me introduce myself both ways. So I want to tell you a little bit about the Yummy Life program and how it came to be. And I want to first ask you a question. Do you feel lost, overwhelmed, invisible, or burned out? A lot of women do. A lot of women are burning the candle at both ends, so to speak. They're trying to have a successful career and a fantastic marriage and a good home life, and they feel completely burned out. Or oftentimes we get lost in the everyday routine of lives. Like you get up, you take care of the kids, you go to work, or you take them to school or whatever, and you get lost. And you find yourself sitting and going, I have no idea who I even am anymore. And some people, and I'm not going to point any fingers, me, but some people don't know how to say no to projects because they get so excited about everything in life. And so suddenly you find yourself completely overwhelmed and you're like, oh my gosh, I've got so many awesome things going on right now and I'm just overwhelmed. Well, that's me. So I wanted to introduce you a little bit to the reasons why I created this program and who I am and my background so that you can get to know me a little bit better. So one of the problems is in today's society that women are pulled in way too many different directions. We feel like we need to be everything to everyone all at once. I know women who feel like they have to be like the absolute best of everything they do. And as a result, they just completely and totally get burned out. Most of the time, it's because they're doing it in the wrong way. And I'm going to teach you a way that you can be your highest and truest self and the best mom and the best wife and even have a fantastic career, but do it in a way that is actually natural and more beneficial to the way you live. That's part of the Yummy Life program. There's massive guilt factor that is flooding our society today, especially if you, like me, have a chronic illness or an invisible or mental illness. There's a lot of guilt that goes along with that. I should be able to do this. I should be able to do that. Just last night, I've been working on this for years and years. And just last night I was talking to my husband and I said to him, oh, and this supplement costs, like $109 every month. And I said, ooh, I kind of still feel a little bit guilty that we have to spend this money on my supplements. But then I think about the fact that if I was on medication, it'd be $7,000 a month and I feel a little bit better. So when you have a chronic or an invisible illness, a lot of times we feel guilty about the things that we have to do to stay healthy because we think I shouldn't have to do this if I didn't have this weakness, right? I think that our culture has this constant expectation of perfection. I'll call it mommy blog or Pinterest syndrome, right? This is something we're all familiar with. You go on Facebook, you see your friends' pictures of their Hawaii vacation. You go on Pinterest, you see all these Pinterest homes, where they're absolutely perfect and beautiful. You go on to mommy blogs or onto blogs that have, even career blogs or things like that. And it makes it sound like everybody has this perfect life, and that we somehow don't have what it takes to have this perfect life. Plus, there's all this pressure on us to have like the perfect body with the perfect hair and the perfect job and the perfect home with perfect kids, because your kids can't possibly misbehave or have problems of their own, right? And then all this time we're still supposed to have the perfect marriage and perfect sex with our perfect partners. It's ridiculous. Perfection syndrome has become like rampant in our society. And I'm not saying don't strive to be your best, but oh my gosh, don't compare yourself to someone else. That's toxic. And it happens a lot. The other thing that I'm seeing happen is a loss of community. For years and years and years, I felt like I had very few girlfriends. And the ones that I did have, I never saw, because life gets so busy, and we all communicate via electronic communications these days, right? We're communicating on social media or texting or Marco Polo or something like that. And what happens is we lose these genuine connections. How many of us don't even really know our neighbors next door? How many of us don't have that sense of community that you grew up having, where kids would go out into neighborhoods and play all night long, and moms would sit on the front porch, and talk while the kids were playing outside. For a lot of us, that doesn't exist. That's a world that doesn't exist. We either live in neighborhoods where we don't know our neighbors, or it's too scary to let our kids out, to free roam and have fun and these carefree childhoods that we all wish that they could have. Or we're in a situation where we're never home because we're so busy that our kids don't, we overschedule our time and our kids' time. There's just no community anymore. And the other thing is that mommy wars have really pitted stay-at-home moms against working moms. And the other thing that I'm seeing is stay-at-home moms who have, quote, real jobs, unquote, like telecommuting jobs or whatever. And they're pitted against moms that do network marketing. And why don't you go out and get a real job? And network marketing isn't a real career. And I see it all the time. People that unfriend people on Facebook simply because they are trying to bring in some extra money through a side gig, selling something that they really believe in. And we see these wars going on, this huge division between women. They feel judged by their peers. It doesn't matter what walk of life you're in. You feel judged. The other thing that is really happening that's in our society today is the masculinization of women. This badass mentality that a woman can be hardcore, hard edge, and push her way to the top. There's a glass ceiling, so I have to be a bitch in order to break it. Sort of a thing. Excuse my language. You'll hear it a little bit, because there's some words that just need to be used. But nothing really severe. So, but it's that mentality that you have to be, aggressive, and you have to push, hustle in order to make something out of your life. And ladies, I'm telling you, that's not true. It's not true. It is the masculinization of women. And if you embrace your divine femininity, and rather than this modern feminism, the divine femininity is taking what we were created to be, what God created women to be. And that's so much more than just a mother and a wife. Although I do believe that being a mother and a wife are the highest callings that we can have, right? I see the absolute beautiful divinity in motherhood and in being a wife, but there's so much more to women than that. And you don't have to be a wife to be a mother, right? We have so many amazing single moms, and you don't have to be a mother if you're a wife. We have so many amazing women who are unable to have children, for whatever reason. And that again, it's those women that are somehow living outside of that, quote, normal bubble, unquote, they feel like they're less than other women who might be a wife and might be a mother. And that's not true. But if you embrace your divine femininity and who you were really, truly created to be, which I teach in my hierarchy of relationships class, I teach this concept called Ezer Negdu. And if you embrace that, then your feeling of self-love and self-worth comes from who you are, not the roles that you play. And it's so important to understand that. There definitely is hope to change. There is hope to have a better life. So what would it look like if you understood your roles and your relationships? And that the thing that gave you direction in your life became who you are and who you desire to become, rather than what you do and what you want out of life. The hierarchy of relationships class that I teach, it's all about reconnecting and creating stronger connections with the people who matter most in our lives, and first and foremost, ourselves and our higher power. And I teach everything in a Christ-centered way, but I don't teach it in a blatant, in-your-face religious way. It's just that all of my teachings as a Christian, everything that I teach is Christ-centered, but I don't, throw it in your face. So if you don't share Christianity as a common religion with me, I don't think you're going to be offended at all by this course. I've gone out of my way to make sure that this course applies to all of my friends and sisters from all different nationalities and spiritual beliefs. Do you want to create a yummy life that's filled with passion, purpose, and impact by finding your inner light and creating an intentional life? That's what I teach in my course, Passion, Purpose, and Impact. I teach you how to find what really lights your fire, what really gets you going, and how to make an impact in the world around that. Do you have a desire to create connections in your community and find kindred spirits? To me, that's something that I was missing for a long, long time. And it wasn't until I started learning how to create a yummy life that I started creating this amazing tribe of women that I have surrounding me today. And I never thought I could be at that place. For a long time, I thought women didn't like me. Do you yearn for emotional stability, vitality, and balance? Yeah, hello, raise my hand. Yes, absolutely. That's something I think every one of us wants. And I'm not going to sell you some expensive nutritional products in order to bring this to pass, right? I'm going to teach you how to do it from the inside out. Do you need direction to find forgiveness, self-love, or how to recognize and embrace your divine femininity? Those are all things that I teach. I love what I do, ladies. I absolutely love what I do. Now, I'm going to tell you, the only reason I bring this up is because I want to make sure that you understand the difference between what I do and other programs. Other programs teach methods and techniques that are more suited to the inner working of a man's brain. It drives me crazy. I'll be sitting in personal development classes that I paid thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for. And I absolutely love the guru that's up on stage. But inevitably, every single time, they teach you these techniques the way a man's brain works. And it drives me crazy. Even the women that are up on stage are teaching it the same way. And our brains work differently. It's different. And what happens is so many women go away from those events and they're excited about what they learned and they try to apply it in their own personal life. And then all of a sudden they get burned out or they fail and they feel like something's wrong with me because nothing's working. Nothing's working. And it happens so often. And I would talk to women just everywhere, all these personal development seminars, and they say, well, this is the 6th time I've come, and this time is going to be the time. It's going to work. I just know it. If it doesn't work for your brain, it doesn't work for your brain. And part of that's because our brains, women's brains, work through emotion and sensory input and connections. We don't think in boxes. We think in connections. I mean, we can think logically, we can be uber focused, but our brain naturally thinks in connections. So let's work with our natural abilities, right? A lot of other programs, you go there for 3 days and pretty much all you learn is affirmations and goals and vision boards, which are really, really powerful tools, but they only scratch the surface of the power of personal development to create real change. And what I mean by that is, if you put a Band-Aid on something that's like a broken bone, the Band-Aid might heal help the scratch to stay heal or whatever, but you're not going to fix the broken bone. You got to fix the inside before the outside starts to change. A lot of them teach one size fits all solutions, and they disregard the polarity and the uniqueness of masculine and feminine energy. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that people don't understand feminine energy. It's been so suppressed for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. People have been trying to suppress feminine energy because it scares men. And my husband will tell you, it scares him. He just is in awe when I am like full force in my feminine energy. He's like, wow, it's amazing. And it's a little bit scary. And it's scary in a good way. It's scary and like, wow, do you see what you just created? It's amazing. A lot of them teach this badass babe modern feminism that is really the masculinization of women, and they disregard the power and beauty of divine femininity, which really at its core is soft and flowing and beautifully receiving. It's amazing. And a lot of other programs ignore the need to modify their program for individuals with physical or mental illness. As a woman with MS and lupus and fibro and celiac and all sorts of other little things, I would go and they'd be saying, even like Rachel Hollis, I love her, but she'll be like, yeah, you got to get up at 5 a.m. or 4 a.m. or whatever to get your hour in or hour and a half in before your kids get up. And I'm like, excuse me, at 5 a.m. I've been asleep for maybe 2 hours because my body hurts a lot. And so, or if you're a mom, right, your kids come and wake you up every 2 hours at night. You don't get a full night's sleep. And so getting up at 5 a.m. really is hard for us. But so what's their solution? Oh, it's just not the right time in your life. And to that, I say bull crap. That is a bunch of crap. You can create an amazing life and just not do it at 5 a.m. in the morning. And I'll show you how. So I created the Yummy Life Heart-Centered Mentoring Total Life Transformation Program as a way for women to have modern personal development that is just created for women. I'm sure a man could take my program, but I don't think he'd get a whole lot out of it because I teach it in a feminine way. So the way it works is it's a progression of steps, tools, and techniques that are uniquely created to resonate with women and our unique strengths. You'll learn how to have a life filled with passion, purpose, and impact. And one of the other things that I try to do through my program, or that I do through my program, is I help you to connect with kindred spirits. I help you to understand and embrace your own unique identity and love your yummy life that's just filled with vitality. You meet people all the time that just sparkle and shine. They light up the room. I'm at the end of my program, or even slightly into my program, that's going to be you. You're going to walk in a room and everybody's head's going to turn because you just sparkle and shine with love, and everybody is just going to be like, wow, what is it that she knows that I don't? And they'll come to you and you'll be able to have that amazing, yummy life that you crave. So one of the things that I want you to know is you might be taking my classes out of order. And that's okay because the steps are still going to work. But each of my steps has been created to be achievable, and it's really meant to be done in order. So the hierarchy of relationships is the core of everything I teach, and it really should be the first step that you take. But if you start in with Appreciate Your Life, or if you're one of the awesome people on Eclectic Entrepreneurs who gets a segment of my program, or if you were, maybe a one-on-one coaching client for a little while and you just needed help in the heart goals and area of your life, all of the techniques that I teach work, but they are really meant to be done in order to have that total life transformation program, especially if you're living with a chronic or an invisible illness. It's important for you to get to the core before you can create this life. So it begins with a life of purpose. And finding and recognizing your unique purpose through introspection and deep discovery. I will tell you, ladies, that my course is not a fluff course. There's work. I call it heart work because you're getting in there and you're getting to the heart of things. And one of the things that we do first is we help you to learn how to find and connect with your higher power and your highest and truest self so that you can co-create an inspired life. I want you to find your passion in life. And that happens when you rediscover or you find things that you are truly passionate about. And you can discover how expressing your creativity will help you to connect with your dreams. That's part of feminine energy, is this beautiful creativity that we have, that each of us truly has inside of us. And sometimes it's, it's brainwashed out by the time we're in first grade and we're told that we got to color in the lines, and this has to be red and that has to be green and that has to be blue. I want you to help to discover how expressing creativity can help you to connect to your dreams. And I want you to find your passion and incorporate your daily life through my trademark program called Ideals. It's a different program that teaches you how to craft your day in an intentional way, rather than simply going through a to-do list and, creating a life that is get up, do this, do this, do this, do this. Really, you're going to be creating an intentional life that's filled with passion, purpose, and impact. And one of the things that I truly believe is that in order to have a life filled with passion and purpose, you have to be making an impact in your community or find a cause that is dear to your heart. And so one of the things that I have created is the Yummy Life Network, which connects you as a Yummy Life sister with several nonprofit organizations that make a difference in your community or in the world. I help you to find one that's a good fit for you. And I have personally vetted every single one of these nonprofits to make sure that they are legitimate, that their money goes into the right place. And yes, one of them is my nonprofit that I sit on the board for, which is Empower, Unite, Strengthen. But I don't push you into that program. There's a lot of different nonprofits that I have available that we work with, and I connect you with the right one for who you are and what you love. The other thing that I have created is, it's called the Yummy Life Sisterhood. It's a Facebook community, and it helps you to connect with other women who are committed to making a difference in the world. And there you're going to be able to get to know other women who are, across the world or right in your own backyard. And you'll really, truly be able to make an amazing connection with these women and create a tribe that is unique to you and that lifts and sustains you. I want you to learn how to embrace your unique identity. I love this picture. For me, that's how I want all of you to feel in life. I want you to be like, this is me. I'm beautiful. I'm amazing. I'm awesome. I shine with light from inside. That's who you're meant to be. And it begins with the name it, claim it, conquer it process, which is what I call the journey to wholeness through finding forgiveness. I know it's a long name. So then I decided to call it Name It, Claim It, Conquer It. And that doesn't really tell you what it really does. So we clarify the difference between your assigned and your assumed roles in the Appreciate Your Past program. And then we help you in the Embrace Your Present to consciously decide who you want to be. And then in your Create the Future You Crave, I teach you how to craft a life story that you can be proud of. So it's all one huge interconnected program, because that's how we think, right? We think in connections. I also teach you, especially if you have a chronic illness or an invisible illness. And what I mean by invisible illness is a lot of us suffer with depression or anxiety, and I call those invisible illnesses or mental illnesses. And then we've got things like MS and lupus. You would never know that I'm sick unless I'm having a hard, MS day and I'm using my cane. Or if I'm having a lupus reaction or a lupus flare and I have the butterfly rash, you would never know that I'm sick because I look very healthy. And that's a conscious choice, by the way, is because I choose the way I look to shape who I am. And so for a lot of women, we're struggling with these inside conditions, this feeling of loss or hopelessness on the inside, and it's invisible. So I teach you how to create a life that's filled with vitality, with body, mind, spirit activities in my Ideals program, with healthy choices about who you spend your time with and how you spend your day. And then I also teach you how to take out the trash, meaning to remove toxic people, toxic household chemicals, toxins from your food, things like that, to remove those things from your environment so that you can have a healthy life. So let me just tell you a little bit about myself now that I've told you about my program. I always say hello, lovelies, because every woman is so lovely in my eyes and in the eyes of the Lord. I am a certified life coach and a certified therapeutic art life coach. I am a certified Ho'oponopono practitioner. I'm certified She Rose United leadership coach and mentor. I'm a certified NLP practitioner. I sit on the board of directors for the nonprofit Empower, Unite, Strengthen Foundation. I am an author, a speaker, and a mentor, and a feminine energy expert. I'm also a wife, okay? I've been married for 18 years at this point. Here we are in June 2019, and we're hitting our 18th anniversary here coming up soon. And yes, it's to the same guy for 18 years. He is the love of my life and my absolute, just my rock. I love him with all my heart. I also am the mother of 3 miracles. As of today, I have a 15-year-old son, an 11-year-old daughter, and a 5-year-old daughter. And I have 2 sweet little angels, Olivia and Max, who are watching over us in heaven. And they're my little babies that I lost. And then I have an adorable golden doodle. Her name is Bella. We call her Bella Boo or Belly Boo. And she is in training to be a service animal for me. Who knows if she's going to complete the training or not. She's just so stinking friendly. I don't know. It's hard to have a service animal who just wants to go up and lick everybody's face. So we'll see. We'll see if we can get her to finish that. And I am a chronic illness thriver. And I really mean it. I thrive with my MS. I thrive with my lupus. I thrive with anxiety. I thrive with depression. I thrive with celiac. I really thrive. I don't just live. I'm not just scraping by every day. I'm thriving. And I will tell you, I do have hard days. I have days where I have to cancel stuff. I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I was supposed to go to a concert to support one of my fellow sheroes, and I had a seizure right before the concert happened. And so, unfortunately, I wasn't able to attend. Did that bum me out? Absolutely. Did she understand? Yes, of course she did, because she's a sweet friend and she knows that, you know, when you have a seizure, sometimes you can't go do fun stuff because you got to let your body and your mind rest afterwards. Are my kids, you know, bummed out or scared every time I have a seizure? Yeah. I mean, yeah, they don't like it. Does my husband like it? No, absolutely not. He hates it too. We all, you know, are disturbed when mama has a seizure, or when mom's legs don't work, or when mom's having a lupus flare, or when I'm having a flare of any of my illnesses and I'm in excruciating pain. And yes, I cry, ladies. When my body hurts and I can't move, I cry. Do I allow myself to rest sometimes and say no to activities because I'm in too much pain or because I need rest? Yes, absolutely. Is it hard? Heck yeah, it's hard, but I still thrive. I still thrive because I am in charge of my life, and I push through the pain a lot of days. A lot of days I'm like, you know what? I am in a lot of pain today. My legs are numb. I'm going to get up and I'm going to do what I need to do anyways. And it's because I have a yummy life. It's because I love my life. But I haven't always been that way. Let me tell you, I have really struggled, hardcore struggled. I love what I do. My life coaching and mentoring program, it's simple and it's amazingly effective. And I just really, I love what I do. Every time I get a call from a client where 10, 15 minutes, and then we're able to shift their mindset and help them through a problem, I love what I do. I love it. I love making a difference in life. And let me tell you, the thing that's made the most difference in my life is this quote, not this quote, but the concept behind it. Okay, so this quote verbalizes beautifully my life's ambition and my life's goal. It says, your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. And that right there, if I were to give you one quote that summarizes everything that you do in the Yummy Life program, it's there. It's seeking the barriers that you've created, intentionally or not, and getting rid of them so you get out of your own way and you become your own hero. So my Yummy Life program, I've currently created these programs. They're online self-paced programs. They're either already online or I'm in the process of getting the videos created. The Hierarchy of Relationships, again, my most important program. Appreciate your past, embrace your present, create the future you crave, purpose, passion, and impact, and take out the trash. And I've already gone over a little bit about what those programs are designed to do. So thank you so much for taking the time to listen to me talk about my life and gush about how much I love my life. The only reason why I gush about it so much is because, ladies, I'm telling you, 20 years ago, I knelt on my floor. 20 years ago, I knelt on my floor of my apartment, I had pneumonia and I was very, very sick. I was very sick with my illnesses and I didn't know what was going on. I had lost my job. My car had been repossessed. My fiance and I had broken up and I was about to be kicked out of my apartment. And I knelt on my knees and I prayed for the first time in years, sincerely. And I said, God, I'm done. Take me home. Take me home. And the reason why I gush about my yummy life today is because of that contrast, because of the polarity behind being so completely and totally unhappy to being blissfully so today. That doesn't mean my life's easy. My life is fraught with trials. There's always something going on, always. But it does mean that it is absolutely beautiful and glorious, and it can be even despite the hard things in life. So I thank you for taking the time to get to know me a little bit today. Yummy sisters, I'm so excited to get to know you better. If you have questions or to learn more, please kindly email me at hello@yummylifementoring.com, and I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for your time, lovelies. Shine brightly.